Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a January budget recap. I'm basically just going to be going over all of my January numbers, what we spent in each category, and kind of like where we were with our budget. As you can see, I've got my Chiefs gear on. It is Super Bowl Sunday, so they play in about 6 hours. So I'm trying to get this video filmed and edited so I can get it up for you tomorrow. Before we get into the video, go ahead and comment down below how you did on your January budget. Like, did you go over? Did you do really well? Did you save a lot more money than you thought? I want to know, so let me know down there. Make sure you subscribe and follow me on Instagram, and let's get into the video. The first thing I'm gonna address before we go to my spreadsheet is how I track my spending, especially because I don't do cash envelopes anymore. So I've showed this in a previous video, I'll link it above, but I just have one of these envelopes that, it's not an envelope I guess, but it's, I don't know what you call this, accordion style. I've emptied this because it is February now, so I have a couple February receipts in here, but I have it labeled food, gas, miscellaneous, all of my categories that I would normally do cash spending for if I was using cash envelopes. But instead, what I do is once I get a receipt, I write down at the top of it what category it's in, and then I put it inside that category. And like mid-month, I go through, add up whatever my receipts are, plug it into my spreadsheet just to see like kind of how I'm doing. And then when I go to close out my budget, I just add up all of the receipts, which these are all of my January receipts. I add them all up and just make sure all my numbers are correct. That's kind of how I do that. So I'm still keeping an envelope system. It's just a little different. Another thing that I use is the Dave Ramsey Every Dollar app. That's just kind of so I don't forget that I spent money. If there's something I do, like when I get my lashes done, I don't get a receipt, I write it down in the back of here. I keep a pen and some note cards. I write it down there and stick it in that category. So that is how I track my spending. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the spreadsheet. So we've already gone through this section in a previous video of what we were budgeting for the month, and then it was kind of like a mid-month update. But I'm just gonna go through my actual numbers and kind of if I went over or if I had some money left. Russell's income was right on the dot. We knew exactly what we were getting there. My income, we got $6 total more than I was budgeting, which is weird, but it's fine. Our FSA was 400 and 400, which was what we were expecting. And then extra income, I was expecting $15 and I actually ended up getting 200. And that was because my car pooped out and I had to get a new vehicle in December. So we sold my old car to the salvage yard. So we got $200 and they picked it up for us. So total income was $6,575. And I'm gonna show you how we spent that. Going down here to the debt category, we budgeted $185 for the Trailblazer. The payment is actually $183. So now we know. I don't know why I thought it was $185. All of the other payments were right on. We know what we pay in debt every month. So for Jay's birth, $50. For my small student loan, $64. I'm not gonna read all of these individually, but all of my Fed loans added up is $411 is the payment on that. And then my ed debt is $466. That is our big debt. And then you'll see this category. I don't know if this was in here the last time I showed the spreadsheet, but this is for baby number 3. We did switch where we are going. We've always been in the city, but we're gonna have our baby in a different city than we were planning. So we're at a different location for all of our prenatal care. This was $0 this month, but we will be on a payment plan for the next about 6 or 7 months. And that'll go up to $250 next month. So that was kind of a different, something we had to add in, which we knew we would have to add it at some point, just weren't sure when. So now we go down to expenses. Rent was $750, exactly what we thought. Same with daycare. These expenses are usually pretty much the same every month. Dance was $42, iCloud was $5, gym, $23. We saved a lot this month on our gym membership, which is really nice. We saved $57, you can see there, which we needed to save because you'll see in a little bit, we had some unbudgeted items. My chart is $52, that is just for prenatal care from the previous place that I was going. AT&T, $59, that's for our internet, $165 for our cell phones. That is just our monthly bill. Our phones are paid off, so that's split between two of us. Netflix, I budgeted $15 and apparently it's $15.99, so $16 is what we spent there. Water, I budgeted $70 and it was actually $79, so I went over $9. I don't know why the water was higher. It's almost always $70 or like $1 above or $1 less. Then we've got gas, which in the winter, our gas always goes up. This is actually the highest I've seen our gas, I think, ever. And I believe with gas and our energy or our electricity bill, they both almost, it's like they had a lapse from December to January, to where instead of having like 30 days to pay on, we were paying for, I don't know, 36 or 38 days. So maybe that's why it's higher. I'm not exactly sure, but it's okay because as you can see here, so we went over 51, 43 in that category. But when you go down here to Evergy, which is our electricity, it's $0. So because there was that weird lapse, we actually don't pay Evergy until February, which we actually just paid it because it's February now, but I didn't have anything come out in January for that. So the February bill for Evergy is a little higher. You'll see that in my budget, but yeah, very weird. I don't know. It works out because just the way everything ended up. So we still had $80 in that category. Amazon was right spot on, and car insurance, $105 is what we paid. The next thing, and this is what I keep track with the receipts on, are our variable expenses. So for food and home, we planned on spending $900 and we spent $907. This was a category that there was a few things that we ended up getting that we weren't planning on, that are like, this category is food and home. So some home things we didn't plan on getting. I planned on saving a lot more money in this category this month, and honestly, it just didn't happen, which is fine. And then there were a couple days at the very end of the month where I was just feeling, I don't even know like what. I'm pregnant if you don't know. And for the last for the last week of the month, I was struggling just like with cravings and giving myself excuses of like, I can eat this, I can, and so we would go and get a couple things here and there out to eat, which we should not have done, and it's all my fault. There's no excuse for it. So this week, it's been 1 week since I kind of like put myself on restricted mode. Like I need to make sure I'm eating everything from home and eating healthy because I don't need to gain any extra baby weight. So that budget is going down in February. If you've seen the previous video, you'll see that we made that go down. So we don't have that choice of going out to eat. Gas, we budgeted $179 and we spent $137. So we saved about $40 there. Dogs, we budgeted $50 and we spent $30. I talked about, I used Chewy.com. So now we're like on this subscription of every 6 weeks. So I think it will save us a little bit of money in the long run. I just had a coupon. It's like, I don't get anything out of saying that. Miscellaneous, we budgeted $100 and spent $82. So about $18 left in that category. Beauty, budgeted $100 and spent $90. So I had $10 left over. It's a good thing I had all this leftover money because you'll see in just a second. The fun category, I budgeted $100 and spent $64.50. So we had $35.50 left. Now this category, $4.50 of that was Russell went golfing and he got a drink or 2 drinks for him and the guy he went golfing with. And The $60 was on Facebook Marketplace. There was a Chiefs jersey, a Nike, very nice Chiefs jersey. They're usually like $100, $110 for $60 brand new. So I usually wouldn't have done something like that, but I was like, okay, the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. This is the time to do it if I'm gonna do it. So I got Russell a Patrick Mahomes jersey. And we had the money to budget, or we had the money to use, so in our fun budget. Now you'll see here, I have an unbudgeted category. I just have this here because I know there are gonna be things that are unbudgeted. So I always just put 0 in, what we're budgeting for there. But $476 is what we spent in that category. First thing, 338 of it was to fix my computer, which it's not all the way fixed yet, which is kind of a bummer, but it's about halfway there. So that's okay. And then 130 of that was tags and taxes, which I actually knew I was gonna have to pay. I just didn't budget it in because I was gonna use savings. I decided that we could fit it in without digging into the savings for that, so that's where that comes from. So it's good that I have that extra money that we didn't spend in some of those categories. Moving to our savings, budgeted 50 for the kids, put in 50. Budgeted 150 for family, we put in 125. Budgeted 100 for medical, we put in 100. Budgeted 100 for our slush fund, put in 100. Budgeted 100 for Christmas, and that's what we put in. And then budgeted 125 for our emergency fund, and we put in 75. So the reason we didn't actually fulfill a couple of those items is because in the middle of the month, we kind of like readjusted what we were gonna do for the year in the plan for savings for the year. And that'll be in the next video. So hit the notification bell if you haven't already so that you know when that video goes up. But I'll be talking all about like our new savings goals and kind of why we switched them and all that. Now, total, what we budgeted for was $5,966, and we actually spent $6,171. So it was a good thing we got that $200 from selling my car. That helped us out. So my debt snowball, if you don't know how my Excel spreadsheet works, I budget all my items and then it calculates my snowball for me. So it tells me the snowball is how much money I have left over. Basically, it creates that for me. So I was supposed to give $418 to my debt snowball, and it ends up, even with all the crazy stuff that went on and the unbudgeted items, because we had some categories we saved in and we had that extra $200, I ended up with $403.12 left over, which I was ecstatic about because I at least wanted to get $400 to the debt snowball. I do have to pay the debt snowball a few days before the month ends, so I just went ahead and I knew I was going to be able to pay $400, and that I tried to like calculate the last couple days. I knew I'd be able to pay $400 for the debt snowball. So you see here, the actual snowball was $400. That's what I actually paid, and that went towards the Trailblazer. So I'm super happy about that. Pretty much our budget didn't work out exactly how we thought it was going to, but in the end, it worked out exactly how we needed it to get that $400 for our debt snowball. Honestly, I can't really be upset with myself about our budget because we did have some hiccups here and there, and in the middle of the month, I was just like, gosh darn it, why? And it ended up working out because I knew that if I could save in other categories, that it would all work out in the end. I knew that if we sold the car to the salvage yard, we'd have an extra couple $100, and I was super happy with that. If you're somebody who's budgeting and you have some things come up in the middle of the month, you can do other things to make up for that. I do have some side income that I got from January. I'm not budgeting that into my regular budget because it goes into my business account with Capital One 360. So it's kind of separate from all of our regular full-time job like pay. Once I start to get to a point where I'm making a decent amount of money from side businesses or just side things in general, then I'll start paying myself from my side businesses into this budget, and then you'll see it in my monthly budgets. But until then, the money that goes to the business stuff is going back into the business stuff, or it's staying there. I really hope you liked my January 2020 budget recap. If you want to see more of these videos with like recapping my numbers for the month, comment down below to let me know, and then don't forget to let me know how you did on your budget this month. Stay tuned for my next video, which will be my revamped debt snowball and savings goals, because you always constantly have to be evaluating your situations and changing your goals based on that if you think that you need to. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and then don't forget to subscribe because I upload every 3 days, and we will see you next time. This will stay. Come on, come on. Yes, I'm amazing. I gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm already recording. What's wrong with me? Always gotta put some chapstick on. If you're not cheering for the Chiefs, then I don't know what to say, but you should cheer for the Chiefs. What am I saying? What am I saying? Before we get into the video, oh my gosh, I just felt how nice it is outside. Why am I not out there right